Hi Homeworthy, I'm Sarah. Welcome to my apartment in the West Village. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Sarah Crawford. I do marketing for J. Crew and content creation on the side, and we are here in New York City in my West Village apartment. When my boyfriend Aiden and I decided to move in together, we started looking for apartments before our leases were up, just to get a sense of what we both liked, make some pros and cons lists, and see where we wanted to move. In the process of just touring random apartments, I set up Street Easy notifications for the exact parameters of what we wanted, location, all the amenities, price, and the date when we needed to move in. And while I was doing that, one apartment happened to pop up a few months early, and that is this apartment. We ended up touring it the next day. It was perfect, great location, great little details, and we put a deposit down like 2 hours later. And now we're currently here. Hello, okay, welcome to the bedroom. This is one of my favorite rooms in our apartment. These lovely sliding doors really divide it and turn our apartment from a studio into a one bedroom. They're so charming and they're quite loud, but we love them, they're very cute. So as you enter our bedroom here, one of our favorite elements is the double closets, which is a huge thing when you're moving in with your boyfriend and you have a shopping addiction like me. So in my closet here, they're pretty deep, which is really great. I love to keep it color coordinated since, as I said, it's a small space, so you have to keep it organized. And yeah, it has some great storage above here for our suitcases. I have my sweaters, my belts, all that, and some shoe storage in there as well. So this right here is our big dresser. This was one of the big investments we made for this apartment. This is from Anthropologie, and I just loved the details on it. The dark wood, this fun scallop in the back, and the gold knobs. We needed a big dresser to fit all of our t-shirts and things. On the dresser here, I have this lamp from Birch Lane, my John Darien books, one of my favorite stores in New York, which has some great design inspiration, perfumes. I have this jewelry box, which is actually from Michael's. I love the block print design, and it actually stores so much, so I've had this for years, and it's a great addition and looks really pretty. We have some fun coffee table books here. You can never have too many. They're such a fun design elements, and peonies are my favorite flower in this fun Juliska vase here. And then I have to talk about the gallery wall. This came together so serendipitously with all of our different pieces that we've collected over the years together. And it's just a fun memory wall. I'll point out some of my favorite things. This up here, you'll notice that I collect matchbooks like many New Yorkers, and this matchbook up here is actually from my parents' wedding. I found it in a drawer in my grandmother's house, like somewhere in the back, and it's over 30 years old. They don't make them anymore, so it's super special. I knew that out of my whole collection, that one needed to be framed. We have some fun pictures of Aiden and I. This pennant we picked up on Nantucket that summer, and I had it framed at Framebridge with this really pretty frame that kind of looks like driftwood. You'll notice lots of coastal nods here. Aiden and I are both from New England. We grew up along the water, so lots of little hints back to our heritage. This is from a trip to Spain we took a few years ago. Here's a fun picture from Aiden visiting me when we were in college. This sketch here actually has a fun story. We were in Maine on vacation in an antique store, walked in, saw this right away, and it's actually a sketch of boats racing off Marblehead, Mass, which is my hometown. So it was so cool to walk into a random thrift store and see something from your hometown, so we bought it immediately. So this is our first date receipt here. We went to Trattoria Al Panino in the North End in Boston. It was such a fun night. It was right when everything was opening up after COVID, and we could finally sit outside and have our first dinner date. So after the date, I stole one of the customer copies, threw it in my bag, and I had it in there for, I don't know, just like crumpled at the bottom of a purse. And for some reason I saved it. Obviously I knew we'd be together for over 5 years in hindsight. And yeah, I had it framed for our 3rd year anniversary as a gift to Aiden as a surprise. And I actually have a video on my TikTok of Aiden opening it and the shock on his face when he sees where the receipt is from and the date and everything. And it's a really sweet moment and a fun thing to have on our wall to remind us of that memory. I went to college here in New York City. I went to Fordham University, and after going to college, I naturally moved to Manhattan with a few of my friends. I lived uptown for about 3 years while my boyfriend lived downtown, so when we decided we wanted to move in together, I decided it was time to try a new neighborhood, and I've always loved the West Village. It's so charming. There are so many great restaurants and bars. So we picked this as a location we wanted to move. We knew it would be super competitive to find an apartment down here, so that's why we started to look early. We were lucky enough to find this location, and that's why we took it right on the spot, because we knew it was a gem out of all the New York City apartments. So moving over to the bed area, something that was super important to Aiden and I when we were moving in together was we wanted 2 nightstands. There were so many apartments where the bed hits one wall, and it was super important that we had our own sides with all of our things. This is a very tight space to fit a nightstand. These are actually from Facebook Marketplace. We couldn't find anything online that fit the dimensions, but I really love them. They have this cool argyle print here that makes them a little bit more unique. On my nightstand here, I just have my hatch, which I need when going to sleep. You need the white noise to drown out the sound of New York City. Some flowers, which just always make me smile. And then this picture up here is a copy of The New Yorker that I found on eBay. I love the print. It is a take on Blue Willow, which are that china. I grew up eating off of Blue Willow. My mom has a whole collection. She has it passed down from her mom. When I saw the New York City scape in Blue Willow, I knew I needed it. And yeah, I bought it off eBay and then had it framed. And I love that this red kind of complements the pretty red in the New Yorker. And it's really fun to have this on my bedside to wake up to every morning. The date is also the date of my parents' rehearsal dinner, so I love to find little meaning to tie all of our art back to something special in my life or Aiden's life. So let's talk about this peel and stick wallpaper. This is grass cloth wallpaper. It was definitely a fun relationship test to put peel and stick wallpaper up, but we both really love it in the end. It adds such a great texture to the wall and adds great dimension against this headboard. And then we tied all of the blues together with these sconces. The sconces themselves are just from Amazon. They're actually not hardwired. They just go on with a little remote like this, and you just click it on, which is really great. You just recharge them, and that way, as a renter, you're not hardwiring any electric. So the lampshades themselves, these are from Green Row. I love florals, I love block print. You'll see that all over the apartment, and I loved the navy, and they kind of tie it all together. Next, to talk about our headboard. This is something Aiden and I also DIY'd. We upholstered this ourselves. I saw the price of a custom headboard and I thought, I can make that myself. So I purchased an inexpensive one off of Wayfair that I liked the shape of. I then went to the fabric district, went to Mood Fabrics and picked out this stripe, and we brought it home, laid it on the living room floor. Aiden went to Home Depot and got a staple gun. We watched a couple YouTube videos and just pulled the fabric from either end, stapled it all around the corners, and I think we did a pretty good job. It looks, I think, pretty professional. We kept the stripes pretty straight for working with, you know, a fabric that could go wonky on us. Then we did have extra fabric, so we sent it off to a woman I found on Etsy who makes these big bolster pillows so that it would match back. And I think it came out really great. It was so fun to get this in the mail and see it all match together. The comforter is from Wayfair, just a nice quilt. And then I have this big duvet. I think I learned it on TikTok or some home decor show. Put 2 duvet inserts inside your cover and it will make it super fluffy, almost like you're in a hotel. And when it gets cold here, these windows are super old and drafty. We love this big fluffy duvet. So moving over to the windows, these we really love. They're such a great element to have. They're south-facing, so during the day, light just pours in through the living room, and it's great to have the pocket doors wide open, so we get tons of bright light. Living in New York City, having light like this is definitely an amazing thing to have. You don't get light like this in a lot of apartments, and the windows themselves are really big. We also fell in love with the molding in this apartment. That was something when we first walked in, we couldn't believe it. It's an old building with some pre-war elements, and I think they're just so pretty and charming and really add and decorate the space. So we didn't want to put up curtains to cover that beautiful molding, so we put these little, I think they're Roman shades up. They're also from Amazon, super inexpensive. And they really just help, decorate a bit, they add a little contrast against this molding and really decorate these beautiful windows that we have here. The West Village is really great because it has many fun bars and restaurants, shops. It's very lively, but it's also super close to the West Side Highway, so we have access to the water when the city is feeling super crowded and we need some fresh air. It's also very quaint. There aren't any skyscrapers. It's lots of cute townhouses and homes with window boxes and people walking their dogs, so it's very charming and it's a fun place to walk around. There's lots of great history here. We actually live around the corner from the Friends apartment. You'll see lots of cute little plaques on the buildings here with lots of history. We also live near a music school, which is really fun because we can hear them practicing at night and makes living here and makes living in a busy city relaxing and calming. So moving into the living room, right here is our little office area. I work from home a few days a week and so does Aiden, so we needed some shared desk area. This one I think is from Wayfair as well. We need something small to fit inside this little corner here. I really loved the legs on this, even though it's just a simple desk, and then I added a fun knob on there to make it a little prettier. We really wanted a white desk since we have a lot of dark wood in here, just to break it up and change it up a bit. I have my fun calendar, a little light, and then some books just to make it prettier while I'm working here. So for art above the desk here, I saw this idea on Pinterest of using vintage tennis rackets. So I found these 2 on Facebook Marketplace, and they work as really cool frames. Some of the things we have paper clipped on there. We have a picture from our first college party together. We have like an old hotel key, some postcards, other random pictures and things. And we both like to keep a box of just memories, postcards, things from over the years. So when we got these 2, it was so fun to pull out those boxes and pull out little mementos that we wanted to almost frame on these tennis rackets. And I think they came out really great, and they're such a unique piece to have hanging on the wall here. So when we toured this unit, the renters that were occupying the space had lots of big, bulky furniture. They honestly didn't lay it out too functionally. Everything took up lots of visual space. They had big cabinets, and there are pretty high ceilings in here. So when we went about designing our space, we wanted it to be a lot more functional. We made sure we had measurements of everything so that furniture fit perfectly. Since it is technically one big, long room, we wanted to be able to section it off into little living spaces. So it felt, as I said, more functional and easy to live here. So moving over to this bookshelf, this is a piece I had in my last apartment, and it fits so perfectly in this little nook in the brick here. This is something I love to decorate, redecorate, move things around, display different things I get, different books and things. So at the top here we have some pictures of our families, and then you'll see lots of these little ceramics around the apartment. Aiden actually made those in a college ceramics class, and I just love them. They're so cute. And we like to scatter them around the apartment with different succulents or just as a little decorative element. Moving down to this shelf, this is my large matchbook collection. As I mentioned, I really love to collect matchbooks whenever I travel or if I'm at a restaurant, and they're definitely overflowing. I'll pull out a few. I just went to Sun Valley for work, so I grabbed one there. And here's one from Red Hook Tavern in Brooklyn, all different events and things. I like to collect them. We make them a lot for work events, so it's fun to have a memento of a project I work on and kind of see them all in the jars. They're so pretty in all different colors, so I definitely need to get another jar, I think, to keep my collection going. Moving down, we just have some books, and then down here, this picture Aiden actually sketched for me of us for, I think, maybe like our first anniversary. As I said, he's a really great artist. You'll see different pieces of his art throughout the apartment, and it's one of the things I love about him, and I love this little picture he sketched for me. I think it's really cute and fun to have as a memory. And then at the bottom there, I have my collection of Vogue magazines. I've had a subscription since I think I moved to Manhattan. I can't get myself to throw them out once I get them, so I just stack them, and I think they look kind of cool all stacked up like that from over the years. Moving on to our couch, we needed a certain size couch, as I said, to fit this small space. This one is from IKEA. We don't know how long we'll be in this apartment, so we don't really want to invest in anything too crazy since we don't know what will fit in the next space we live. And this IKEA couch was perfect, not too expensive. It looks pretty great. It's also a slipcover couch, so God forbid we spill anything, you can throw it right in the washer machine and clean it. And then since it's just kind of a cream color, I wanted to dress it up a little with a few fun throw pillows. These I've collected, I think, over the years. I'm not quite sure where they're from, but I love block print pillows. It's my touch of adding some florals and adding some girliness in here where I can. This throw here is from Brooklinen. It's super cozy and huge and great for when you're just watching a movie on the couch. Moving along, we're so lucky to have a window in our living room. Even though it faces a brick wall, it does let in a little bit of light. We added those same Roman shades up here to accent this beautiful molding that you see throughout the apartment that makes it super special. We have a few little plants to liven the space up a bit. And then we have my favorite chair, this striped chair. This was the first thing I bought for this apartment. I knew I wanted some type of statement chair. I really wanted a floral chair, but that didn't fly with Aiden, a little too girly. So we compromised and went for stripes, which you can't go wrong with blue and white stripes. You'll notice I love blue and white. And I found this chair on Wayfair on like super sale. There was like one left, and I bought it when I was living at my old apartment, and I had it shipped to my old apartment. I think my roommates thought I was crazy, but I really wanted this chair, and it made it here. It's so comfortable, it's really deep, and then same thing, I added a nice block print pillow to add in my florals, and it's really great. It fits the space perfectly. When we went about designing the space, as I said, we wanted it to be super functional. We used Pinterest. We both made our own Pinterest boards and kind of tried to combine both of our styles. We're very lucky and we both love kind of a traditional classic style, simple. I love florals and colors more than Aiden does, so we had to compromise on a few things here and there. But we started in sections, starting with the furniture first, just to make sure it fits since it's such a unique space. And then from there, we added lots of decorative elements, fun pillows, vases, and things that we've collected from our journeys, from our hometowns, from our adventures, and things to make it feel like home. So there are lots of memorable special items in this apartment that are meaningful to both Aiden and I, but one thing that really sticks out to me is this quilt here, that it's not in the best shape. It's definitely been very loved over the years. This is my grandmother's aunt's wedding quilt, and as you can see, each square was sewn by an individual that was special to her. Their name is imprinted in the middle here, and then each square was sewn together to make it into a quilt as a wedding gift for her. So this was something my mom had in her apartments, my grandmother had, and it has been passed down to me. It is time to take it to the dry cleaner and get some reinforcements on it, but it's just so special and meaningful, and we honestly rarely use it as an actual blanket. It's more of a decorative element. I really love the colors and the different fabrics. They're all so pretty, and it's just super special to have sitting out on an ottoman here. So here is our coffee table. This we got, I think, from Bed Bath & Beyond. We needed something small. We wanted dark wood to kind of match back to the dark wood floors that are naturally in here. It's really the perfect size that you can decorate a bit with it, but you can put your feet up, you can have a drink, place it down. So I've just decorated it with a few coffee table books, flowers, and candles. This is my favorite candle ever. It's from Mullen & Goats, the tomato scent. And since, our kitchen is right into our living room, it's fun to have a fresh scent throughout the space, and it smells amazing. A fun thing about this coffee table, I actually originally ordered this side table as our coffee table, didn't realize that the measurements were off, and it was way too small to be a coffee table, but it fit perfectly as an end table here, and it honestly was a happy mistake, I guess. So this is our little dining table. We knew we definitely wanted some type of seating area. As I mentioned, Aiden really loves to cook, so I wanted somewhere we could sit and enjoy his meals. We also wanted something that had leaves on it so that if we did have people over, we could expand it and fit a couple more people. But for now, it's perfect for the two of us right here. This was another Facebook Marketplace find along with these chairs. I often like to find something I like online and then just type it into Facebook Marketplace, see if I can find someone selling it, and chances are someone in New York. There's so many people, you'll find it. And I think it fits so perfectly here. We went through a lot of tables to find this one, so we really love it. I have this fun fruit bowl. This is from Tory Burch, and I just love this pattern here. Some nice taper candles, and then this art here is super special to us. We wanted a big piece of art to fit above this table, and I'm a big fan of Slim Aaron, so I was scrolling through his catalog and I stumbled upon this picture. I thought it was really cool, and I started reading the description, and it happens to be shot in the harbor of my hometown of Marblehead. So I thought it was so cool, and as I said, I love to find pieces of art that have things that tie back and make them a bit more meaningful. And then we have this just fun little gallery light. Unfortunately, since we are renters, it doesn't fit perfectly over our electric box here. So we just work with the space, and I think it looks fine even though the electric box is out there. So we really do love this apartment. It's super special with the different unique elements in here. However, if there is one thing to change, I would love just to make it bigger in general, make the bedroom bigger, make the closets bigger, but we are in New York City, so you usually have limited space here. I would love just to make the bedroom bigger so that you could fit more things in there, some bigger nightstands, and just have a bit more space for storage. So now we move from the dining area right over into the kitchen. This little nook here was another spot that was kind of difficult to find a piece of furniture to fit. We knew we needed to extend the kitchen counter. We needed a little bit more space to cook as well as storage for our pots and pans. But the space was super deep and we kept finding things that were really short and narrow. Luckily, we found this on Wayfair. And we really love it. It's super sturdy. It also came unfinished, so I think it could have another life one day. We could paint it, we could finish it, but for now I really love the unfinished wood. It matches our nice big cutting board here that Aiden's often cooking at. I also have my big jar of flour. I recently learned how to make sourdough and I'm very into it, so I have to have my flour out so that I'm ready to bake a loaf whenever. A tea kettle because I'm a big tea drinker. And then moving along to these floating shelves. When I was looking for inspiration for this apartment, I found that I was pinning lots of pictures of kitchens with big open shelves with their glassware displayed. So this seemed like the perfect area to add in those shelves. I wanted to do a white color to complement the gray paint that was already here when we got here, and then also match back to that molding that we love so much. So on our shelves here, we have some cookbooks. We have a Maddie Matheson cookbook. We love his recipes. My boyfriend Aiden really loves him, so that one is front and center, and I love the yellow color of this one. We also have Missy Robbins' pasta book. Missy and Lilia are two of our favorite restaurants here in New York City, so we have to keep that one out. And then this one right here is actually a cookbook I had made for Aiden that we can add in all of the recipes we cook together. If we find something online, we can add it in if we like it. So it's fun to have our own cookbook up there, and then a couple other little elements to make it fun and stylize it. For the art up here, this is another special piece. This is a pastel that Aiden actually made when he was in middle school, and I think it's so pretty. I love the colors in it. It really ties everything together. It's such a serene picture, and it's fun to have a piece of his childhood art in here. And then I just framed it with this beautiful Aryan frame that matches back with the golds, and this is one of my favorite little areas of the apartment. I just think the colors are so fun, and we're always kind of in here cooking and hanging out, so it's really pretty. So moving into the kitchen, it was something we also really wanted in an apartment was a kitchen that opened up into the space, a place that, as I said, we could entertain, and if we're cooking, we're not away from the party or from the other person. This is a very open kitchen, but we really love it, and it's very functional. We're very lucky, and we have a dishwasher, which is something I didn't have in New York City. We also have a washer dryer, so we really hit the jackpot with this apartment. It's actually a pretty great size for New York as well, so it's really great to have those elements here. Moving on to this cabinet, this glass cabinet wasn't something I necessarily loved when we first walked in. I thought it could look a little messy if you can see all your cups and things, but I've really grown to love it. I think it looks super cool, and as we grow, you know, our plate collection, our mugs, it's something that's fun to look into right when you walk into our apartment. Aiden and I both really love to host. Aiden is an amazing chef. He's a really great cook, and I love to do tablescapes and setup, so we're really a match made in heaven to host lots of people over. Although the space is small, we've really configured different ways to have people over. One of the things we've done in the past, we move out this coffee table, we put a big long table down the middle, throw a tablecloth on it, we'll use the couch as seating, and then an ottoman over here as additional seating, and we can fit maybe like 10 people, which is a good amount. It works great to have a dinner party because the kitchen is, you know, right behind the living room here. It's great that the kitchen is open to our guests so they can sit and chat and have a drink while we're cooking and serving and all that. And then these doors, the pocket doors here are great, so they divide the bedroom so that it feels like more of an intimate space and less of a studio apartment, I guess. And yeah, we really love to host. One day I dream of having a big dining room table and all that to host people, but for now we make it work, and it's really fun to have everyone together. And people don't mind sitting on the floor. That's part of living in New York. The kitchen also doubles as our entryway. So this piece, I'm not quite sure where we found this, but I really loved the dark color, I love the dark wood, and I loved the legs on here. It's a great storage item. Most things in this apartment double as storage since it's a small space, so we can keep like our dish towels and tablecloths and tools in these big drawers. And then this bottom part here also doubles as shoe storage, so as we're walking in the apartment you can kind of slide your shoes right under, which is a nice add. I have decorated this with a couple fun things. We have some cookbooks on here. I have a nice little bowl for our keys. These are actually custom matches I had made for our apartment with our name on them, and so that now when guests come, they can take a little memento like I do at a restaurant, and I think they're super cute and match back to kind of the whole theme we have going on here. Some dried hydrangeas, which I love and are great because they last all year long and you don't have to refresh them. This mirror here, I got this off Facebook Marketplace as well. I really love the frame on it, and these little pictures here are from Boston. My mom and I were in Beacon Hill, and we stumbled upon this antique store that sells them. The artist is John Young, and he does all these cute minis. So I picked out these 3, but I'm itching to go back and get more and kind of grow my collection a bit because they're super cute and really special. This lamp here is from Pookie Lighting. I love the green, and the lampshade itself is from Etsy, which I think is a fun shape and lets off lots of great light in this dark part of the apartment. The rug here, this is a ruggable rug, which I had received so many ads for, and I really wanted to try it out. I like the pattern on it, but it's great because it is washable. This is a high traffic area, and it's perfect for a kitchen, hallway, entry duo. One great thing about living in a rented apartment is that often you get the landlord special, they call it, where you call them to fix something and they don't necessarily do the best job. So we had them repair these holes from a previous renter, and when my super came up to fix it, he thought he brought the right color paint and happened to grab the wrong color. Noticed after he had painted the wall, couldn't find the actual right color. So now we have this fun square on the wall. So eventually I think we need to find some art to cover it because it's not my favorite thing. But that's just part of being a renter and living in New York City. It comes with some really great things, but then some odd things. So here towards the entry of the apartment, we have a coat closet, which is a great add to have. We also have really great above storage in this apartment. So up here, we just keep like towels and sheets in these nice baskets. There's even storage up around there where we can put an AC unit or Aiden's golf clubs or whatever it is. It's nice to have an extra spot just to kind of store things. We also have our bathroom in here where we do have a washer and dryer, which is amazing. I did not have one in my last apartment, and it really changes the game when you're living in New York City. Ever since I was little, I really have loved art and design in kind of any form, whether it's interior design and really beautiful spaces or clothing. I've always loved fashion, and that's what led me to my job now working for J. Crew. I'm on the marketing side, but it's so fun to work cross-functionally with the designers and see the different clothing and how they pull everything together. But on the personal side, interiors have always been really special to me. It's something my mom really loves, and it's just so nice to make your space like a home, especially in this busy city where we're renting apartments. And I'm lucky enough to have a boyfriend who also really loves art and design. And because of that, we kind of collaborate and work together and get excited to make, our space really special for the two of us. This home is super special to me because it is the first apartment I've shared with my boyfriend. It's been so special to kind of combine our lives here and work on this apartment as kind of a project together, bounce ideas off each other, find furniture together, and kind of make it our space together. We've both lived with so many different roommates, and it's fun to have something that will be our own and to have these memories and different pieces that will carry with us through our next home, eventually to buy a house, those things. We really love this space, and it's been so special to, combine our styles and the things we love. Thank you, Homeworthy, for touring my home, but I gotta get back to work now. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.